roads in today's video aren't really for people who want casual drives. Like this road where drivers need to cross an ice bridge, and this one whose name literally has death on it. First though, here's a road that could be a pleasant drive, but only for very careful drivers. Stelvio Pass. At 9,045 feet above sea level, Stelvio Pass might not be the most extreme drive on today's list, but it's certainly enough to provide thrill seekers with an adrenaline rush. The road is one of the highest passes to drive along in the European Alps and was voted the best driving road in 2008 by Top Gear. But just what makes it so extreme? Well, the road features no less than 48 hairpin turns. That and the fact that this road is lined only with low concrete barriers, drivers distracted by the amazing views will certainly be met by accidents. Winter here is also particularly dangerous, as slipping on the road is pretty common. Karakoram Highway. Built as high as 15,000 feet above sea level and under very rough conditions, Karakoram Highway is sometimes considered the 8th wonder of the world. It took 16 years to build, starting in 1966 and ending in 1979, but it wasn't until 1986 when the road was open to the public. Cutting through the most mountainous regions in the world, this 1,300-kilometer stretch of road is beset with hazards such as rockfalls, landslides, avalanches, flooding, snow drifts, reckless drivers, herds of animals, precipitous cliffs, and terrible storms. One interesting fact, though, the Karakoram Highway actually follows the Silk Road, at least in some places. Skipper's Canyon Road. When Skipper's Canyon became a popular gold mining area, the need for safer access to it increased, which is kind of ironic, given the fact that Skipper's Canyon Road still claims hundreds of lives every year. However, it's still far safer from the road ye old miners had to use back in the day. It took 7 years to carve this gorgeous and frightening road out of the cliff face. It was completed in 1890, and many sections of the road remain exactly the same as the day when it was hewn by hand from rock. Today, the road is mainly used for tour buses and adventure companies. And honestly, even though the drivers of these buses are met with breathtaking views every day, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. Taroko Gorge Road. Like many of the roads on today's list, Taroko Gorge Road is carved out of and through the mountains. And because of this, the road is surrounded by spectacular beauty, something that only Mother Nature can really offer. Thus, a slew of tour buses, cars, scooters, bicyclists, and pedestrians are all vying for space on this road despite its frightening reputation. This extremely narrow road is barely wide enough for a car, a frightening prospect considering the number of blind turns and extremely narrow bends in the road. The road is also very hard to keep in good condition, as heavy rainfall and typhoons often cause landslides and rock slides. Both of these slides often leave the sections of the road impassable. Still, many swear that a trip through this road is worth the danger. Personally, I'm just gonna take their word for it. Pan American Highway. Compared to all the other roads in today's list, the Pan American Highway looks quite tame. No danger of falling down cliffs here. It's a relatively flat stretch of road that cuts from North to Central to South America. Where is the danger, though? Well, it comes from totally different sources. A section of this road winds through Mexico and Central America, where drug cartel terrorists roam. And in the Panamanian section of the road, you could encounter FARC rebels, who often take captives and hold them for ransom. These ransoms are held up for years, and others never escape their makeshift jungle prisons. Some people always rave about the freedom that driving on a long stretch of road gives them, but driving this road might actually make them lose that same freedom. Sichuan-Tibet Highway. Continuously beset with rock slides and avalanches, the Sichuan-Tibet Highway is a treacherous, switchback-laden highway that winds among towering peaks, often causing vomit-spewing altitude sickness in travelers. This 1,330-mile stretch of road connects Chengdu and Sichuan with Lhasa in Tibet through an area known as Kham. Along the way, numerous Buddhist monasteries, red-robed Buddhists, and herds of yaks can be seen. Road construction started in 1950 and ended in 1954. Since then, the road has claimed thousands of lives. In fact, 7,500 people die for every 100,000 who traverse this road. The Road of Bones. Having a name like that should tell you exactly how extreme this road is. This Siberian road from Magadan to Never meanders its way through one of the coldest regions in the world. It's a combo of two highways. These two highways are the R504 Kolyma Highway and the A360 Lena Highway. Aside from extreme weather, unpaved roads, ice, mud, and low visibility, drivers on this road face a very unusual danger. The highways are joined by the Lena River Ice Road, a name so apt I'd forgive you if you think that I'm kidding right now. It's a road made of ice, literally. It's the road that travelers use to cross the river. For obvious reasons, it's only open from December through April, when the ice is frozen enough to drive on, or so one hopes. Sadly, dozens of lives are lost each year when their vehicles fall through the ice. Guoliang Tunnel Road. When the Chinese government decided that spending time and money building a road that will only be used by 300 villagers wasn't really worth the trouble, 18 of those villagers took it upon themselves to build a 0.8-mile tunnel through the solid rock of a vertical cliff. Located in the Taihang Mountains in the province of Henan, the villagers used explosives to blow their way through the cliff. Having no experience in such things, some actually died from building this road. The tunnel was 15 feet high and 12 feet wide, barely wide enough for 2 cars. Taking 5 years to build, the road was open to traffic in 1977. Obviously, the road lacks every safety feature imaginable. Thus is very dangerous, especially when it rains. Cotahuasi Canyon Road. The Cotahuasi Canyon Road begins on the Pan-American Highway near the city of Arequipa. No one actually bothered to measure how long this road actually is, but a bus ride through this road usually lasts for 12 hours. The road is unpaved beyond Chuquibamba and is so dangerous that it's recommended that only 4-wheel drive vehicles should be used on this bouncy and scary stretch of the road. And because it's really no fun driving on it, tourists mostly stay away from this place. Then, the fact that right beside the road is the canyon, the 3rd deepest canyon in the world. At 3,525 meters, that's twice as deep as America's Grand Canyon. Pretty sheer drop, honestly. James Dalton Highway. Also known as North Slope Hall Road, the James Dalton Highway is a road used by truckers, especially those who travel to and from the Prudhoe Bay oil fields on the North Slope of Alaska. You might be familiar with this road as it was featured in the show Ice Road Truckers. Only about a quarter of this 414-mile-long road is paved. The other 3/4, let's just say it's not as easy as driving on a suburban road. Unpaved and with danger from slipping and ice ever present, finding help on this desolate stretch of highway is not easy. There's no medical facilities along the road, and only 3 towns exist along the way. Thus, anyone traveling this road should bring survival gear and plenty of supplies. Zoji La Pass. The Zoji Pass checks all the requirements for a road to be considered extreme. It's a dirt road with no guardrails or traffic signs, and where landslides are a continual problem. Moreover, the road zigzags among craggy peaks at over 11,000 feet at its highest elevation. Connecting the towns of Srinagar and Leh in the western Himalayan mountain range, Zoji Pass is generally closed during the winter, primarily because 50-foot snowdrifts make it impossible to pass. Fortunately, the road is only 9 kilometers long, but for most drivers, that's 9 kilometers too long. Killar to Pangi Road. If you love to drive through mountains and have nerves of steel, then a drive on this road is definitely for you. Open only during the summer months, this rocky, gravelly road is about 70 miles long. There's actually a 6-mile stretch of it that's particularly hazardous. It has rocky overhangs looking as if they could fall upon the roadway at any moment. The road was built hundreds of years ago by local villagers and hasn't been repaired over the decades. Only wide enough for 1 Jeep at a time and having no guardrails, this dirt and gravel road is terrifyingly unstable in places. One false move by a driver could send a vehicle 2,000 feet down a vertical cliff. This road's so frightening that it's hard to watch videos of people driving over it, much more actually driving on it yourself. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Got a question for you guys. Who in their right mind would build a road with dangerous hairpin turns right on top of a mountain, exposing drivers and travelers to sheer drops on both sides of the road? Well, apparently the Chinese. Big shock. 99 Bend Road to Heaven. Doesn't come as a surprise to find out that the country responsible for the Zhangjihe Grand Canyon Glass Bridge and the rickety wooden walkways of Huashan also brought us one of the most hair-raising, panic-inducing drives in the entire flippin' world. Located in Tianmen Mountain National Park in central China, the 99 Bend Road to Heaven features, as its name terrifyingly implies, 99 death-defying hairpin turns constructed hundreds of feet in the air. In certain areas of this road, both sides feature cliffs that are hundreds of feet deep. In bad weather and the ever-looming possibility of an earthquake, the road is incredibly treacherous. If your luck runs out, an accident on this road is truly a one-way trip to heaven. Ferry Meadows Road. At just 10 miles long, the Ferry Meadows Road may be short, but traversing every single inch of this road is harrowing. It's extremely narrow, barely wide enough for a car, unpaved and unmaintained, and given that falling off the side of this road means you plummet thousands of feet down to the valley below, the lack of guardrails is not really reassuring. Also, since this road climbs 8,000 feet in just 10 miles, expect a lot of steep sections. While the ferry meadows that await those who are brave enough to make the drive are unspeakably gorgeous, few are brave enough to make it there. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. The Road of Death. Yeah, we're way past the word extreme when death is right there in its name. Leading from La Paz to Taroko, the Road of Death is almost 50 miles of one-lane road, featuring vertical drops of as much as 3,000 feet into the Amazon rainforest below. Also, the road is over 200 hairpin turns. Up until 1994, nearly 300 travelers died on the road every year. Numerous makeshift memorials can be seen in places where hapless folks have plunged over precipices and gone crashing down into the jungle ravines below. Fortunately, the worst part of the road has now been bypassed by a 2-lane paved road, so vehicle traffic on the road has diminished. But cyclists still challenge the Road of Death, some dying in the process. See you all next time!